I pray to the divinity in you. I'll give you a few minutes for questions and answers, and then I'll explain. Today's subject matter will be very interesting, provided you like to practice, you like to know, you like to understand, and apply those methods in your daily life.
What is the correct intonation of Om?
Correct? Okay. I will.
Some holy men seem to produce material objects out of thin air. How do you explain that?
Most of them are tricks. They are unholy. Sometimes so-called holy men can do unholy things. It's okay. Take it, Take it as a fun. Reject it. Don't accept such things. Because anything that does not agree with the scriptures given by the ancients are not considered miracles. All the miracles that one can perform are related to the self-control. There are powers like that. There are higher powers like that. One can attain, one can be in touch. But it's not. I know what you are going to say next. That such and such Swami produced Omega watch. Can you do Swami Rama? I cannot. I can give you my watch. Yes.
External objects are a projection of the mind.
Yes. Mind is the agent of the supreme pranas. The consciousness manifests itself into beings, living beings. But the things which are not living, inanimate, those are created, projected, manifested by the prana, which is also called Maya. I am talking of Adi Prana, the first unit of life. I am not talking of the breath, which becomes a vehicle for the pranas to supply energy to the internal states. Thus, it's a projection of mind. Yes.
Unmani avastha, is that in between the waking and dream, or between dream and sleep?
No, it's between waking and dream. Between dreaming and sleeping, there is another state. That state can be attained, and it also can give you wisdom, some glimpse of the external knowledge. But actually there are 7 states altogether. Unmani, the state between the waking and dreaming. There is another state, which I am not recollecting the name, Sanskrit name, but I will tell you and explain to you. Between dreaming and sleeping. And there is one between sleeping and Turiya. So as there are 7 spheres of energy given by the physics, how electrons are moving towards protons and how protons are moving towards nucleus. On this platform, on this level, they have a particular movement. And you cannot say, why are they doing like this? Why are they not moving other side? You see. But when they examined the other sphere of the universe, they found their movement is entirely different. Changes. This way, the energy moves, functions in a different way on different spheres. So is the case on these three, mainly three, and altogether 7 levels of consciousness. Those levels of consciousness are explained by various schools in various ways. This knowledge which I am giving you is not through my mind. It is either, a bit of it is through vision and rest through the teachings of the great ones with whom I lived and enjoyed their love and blessings. You see, the scriptures say very little, explain very little, because it's difficult to understand the scriptures without their right explanation. Moreover, when a teacher says something, the teacher should also understand, and the student should all understand where are they standing as far as consciousness is concerned. So what I mean to say, when you communicate with somebody through words, words are not understood properly because it's hard to judge from where you are speaking. When Christ was crossing the river, all his students complained, Master, you are speaking in parables. We do not understand. During that time, his consciousness, Christ's consciousness, was not towards the teaching, but towards formulating that wisdom which he directly received from the infinite library within. Don't you see in your own personality, sometimes you are very cruel. A human being can be bitter, as bitter more than an animal. Sometimes you are very loving, you become like angels. And sometimes you are very indifferent. You will see that in your daily life. Because there are 3 states we are going through. In waking state, we are dealing with the world around us, external world, which is called Virat also. Actually, there is only one experiencer. Don't say that you are experiencing. We are not experiencing these states. The waking state is not experienced by human beings, by human mind. There is only one experiencer, and that is called individual soul. Individual soul, when experiences waking state, during that state experiences the gross world, the world of objects externally. That is called by Swanara or Virat. Because you will read other scriptures, the names are different. In dreaming state, you are dealing, you are experiencing internal objects coming from your mind, the impressions which mind stores in the house of merits and demerits, that is called unconscious mind. You see. But in sleeping state, you do not discriminate, you don't see anything, you don't feel anything, and that state of natural gift you have has led you to a state of bliss. A great taste of bliss is given. You remain in a state of bliss. That state is called, first state, waking state, Virata, second is Hiranyagarbha, third is Ishvara. Now, physicists do not understand the depth. They have not studied the anatomy of sleep from deeper angle. But here the scripture says, in that state is experienced by Ishvara. Who can see, who can watch, who can understand all other states, waking and dreaming. That state is called gateway to real knowledge. That state can acquire knowledge of the higher state, Turiya, the fourth state, or the lower state, sleeping and dreaming. I told you it is easy for you to analyze your dreams, to interpret your dreams. Sometimes when you can forget your duties, when you can forget your postpones, when you can forget your something, engagements which are lying in the basement of your mind, dreams do tell you. Dreams can disturb you, dreams can make you joyous, dream can give you a glimpse of a part of your personality. Dream is therapeutic, but yogis say it's a waste of time. We don't have time to dream. Why should we dream? For that, they sit down. For waking state, I told you how to deal with waking state, and as I told you, learning to do your actions and duties selflessly, skillfully, and lovingly. That is the only one way to get freedom from the bondage of karma. But there are other bondages created by other states of mind and other states of consciousness. Remember, there are two states. The states of mind are different from the states of consciousness. Waking, dreaming, sleeping are the states of consciousness. Feeling pain, pleasure, these are states of mind. They are entirely different. So today we are discussing about the sleep. After understanding how to interpret, how to understand the part of our problems, I told you Elder James Freud tried their best. And with the help of hypnosis, they were successful. They were successful in understanding the part, a small part of the personality of their patient. But they found that such a patient can go out of control, you see. So they left that. Therefore, hypnosis too does help, but it cannot lead far away, and everybody cannot be hypnotized. If somebody's ego is not controlled by you, you can never hypnotize. You are hypnotized when your ego is tamed and controlled by someone. You see. For that, the scriptures say, if you learn to meditate before you go to bed, you will definitely not have nightmares. Those children who suffer on account of nightmares, somebody is afraid of darkness, the male is afraid of being killed by bad men, the female is afraid of being chased by bad men. Such nightmares occur because of hearing things, reading stories, seeing movie, and then mind distorts when it becomes weak. Whenever you are weak, you distort things. Distortion comes during weakness. A strong person will never distort things. If your eyes are 6 upon 6, they will see things properly. But if you have some problem in your eyes, you can see things in a distorted form. Optic distortion is well known. The distortion of mind is also well known, like mirage. The distortion of individual soul, like avidya, is well known. The distortion that is called maya is well known. So we find the more we go to the higher states, the more we find greater problems. If you think that by meditating your problems will be over, forget it. No. You will know your problems and you will know of removing your problems. But problems will not vanish. During sleeping state, there are no problems because your mind does not function. It is beyond your mind. Your mind remains active. Only during waking state and dreaming state, when you are in deep sleep, it's not the field of your mind. There is no discrimination, there is no content, there is no object, there is no impression. In such a state, you experience bliss. The question is, if I am in bliss now and I remember it tomorrow, as you generally do, last year you talked to your husband, honey, we enjoyed life better last year. Why are we fighting this year? You remember bliss of last year because this year you are in conflict. When we are in deep sleep, do we enjoy the bliss consciously? No. Because if we enjoy consciously, then it is not sleep. We remember it when we are awake, and we then compare that during waking state we are not enjoying bliss. During dreaming state we don't enjoy like this. It's a great bliss during sleep. Yogi said this is not a safe thing to do. If we enjoy bliss now, we should learn to enjoy it now by being conscious. We do not need to be awake to watch and to observe or to get confirmation that we enjoy deep sleep. Don't forget that you totally don't sleep when you are in deep sleep. We have done simple, crude experiments on it. I used to make something piercing of the, paper, twist. And when one of my teacher was sleeping, I inserted it in his nose. So I inserted in his ear when he was in deep sleep. He did like this and then went to sleep back again. A part of you remains awake when you are in deep sleep. Which part of you remains awake? That does not know how to sleep. That does not need sleep. That is your Jivatma. Because it is always there, even today, even at this time, at this moment, it is here. You see. But it is experiencing gross world. So it is called waking state. If it starts visualizing, dreaming the impressions which are stored in the mind, it is called sleeping state. If both states are absent, there is no discrimination of mind, and then you experience, who are you? Jiva, your individual soul experiences the joy of deep sleep. Therefore, deep sleep is not inert type of sleep. Some experiments should be conducted. What is deep sleep? Why do you get joy in deep sleep? A patient cries with great pain. Without anesthesia, after some time when he is tired, then he goes to sleep and then he doesn't cry. See? He is free from pain. That deep sleep, is it living, is it inert, is it something that dumb, that makes us, that puts us into the lap of unconsciousness? What is it? The yogi said, consciously from waking state, we go to dreaming state. When they close their eyes, they don't allow their senses to function. They don't want their mind to employ their senses. Then they cannot contact the external objects. They don't hear, they don't see, but they still think. The imageries which are stored in the unconscious mind comes forward, and if they are watching them, that's called part of meditation. If they are not watching them, if they become influenced by the dreaming state, that is called dream. That is the difference. So what the yogis do, they like to watch that, inspect all the images going on in the mind. Now, you have certain habit patterns. Some of the habit patterns have deep impact on your life. Whole day you do things, you do your duty, but there is one thing that you repeatedly think of. Anything. It means that particular habit has deep impact in your life. Such impressions do give you dreams again and again relating to that habit pattern. It could be anything. So then they go from dreaming, they watch the imageries, and when imageries are exhausted, they go to that field which is called sleep. There you don't experience external gross world, you don't experience the images, you experience the joy. Yet you are trying to maintain consciousness. In the beginning, you will sleep. While practicing yoga nidra, you will sleep. But then, if you persist, you can remain fully awake, yet you are in deep sleep. You are very close to the king, for whom you made all the efforts and you wanted to see. There you go in front of him, but you are in deep sleep. There is another person who is sitting there and talking to the king. They both are very close. One who is not conversing is in sleep, one who is conversing is in samadhi. That is the difference between samadhi and sleep. Sapragyat samadhi, that state of samadhi in which still there is duality, but there is nothing third. You are talking, you are conversing, you are having a dialogue, pleasant dialogue, you are constantly thinking. There is only one thought being directed to the center of consciousness. That is called samadhi. Still that is lower samadhi, because there are two. You exist, and there is someone called Supreme Lord exists. Highest of samadhi, you realize in Turiya, when you become one with the Absolute, like river becomes one with the ocean, drop of water becomes one with the ocean. You see. But these are all superimpositions. The same experiences who is in bliss says, what happened to my dreams? Dreaming reality is illusory. Even this waking reality is illusory. Had it been a total reality, absolute reality, how could you dream? If dreaming reality was true, then how could you remain awake? So both are not true. There is something higher which is true. Then you go to sleep. In deep sleep, you find great joy. But you go to sleep with the expectation to become awake, to come back. Suppose many people have fear that if I go to sleep, I might not come back. Many have that phobia. They increase that phobia. They are afraid of sleeping. So they get not good quality of sleep. We have many such fears, many types of fears. You are very bold, you are not afraid of tiger. Without anything, you can kill a tiger. But if you see a spider, you are afraid of that. We all have some sort of fears. A teacher has fear, his students might misunderstand him. A student has fear, his teacher might not understand his teacher's language. This goes on all the time. Some sort of fear we always have. We should learn to examine our fears. Why are we afraid of what? Suddenly you will find expectation is mother of all fears. I am not afraid of you if I don't expect something from you. If I don't have a desire, you see. If I don't have a consideration, you are my student and I am your teacher, why should I be afraid of you? I am afraid of you because you are my student. We have a relationship. I am your teacher. So there are many types of fears we have within us. We have a body that is called fearful body. We live in that cell. As long as we remain awake, as long as we dream. But when we go to deep sleep, mind has no discrimination and the consciousness is not in the external world, not in dreaming world, cognitive world, but the consciousness is within you. Deep sleep. The yogis enjoy that sleep consciously. They can record things better during that time. I used to practice it. You can put, I am not boasting, but you can put a machine on me which will show that my brain has started creating alpha waves. More than delta waves. More than 70% to 85%. When your brain starts creating delta wave, then it is clear indication that you are in deep sleep. And talk to me something. I will be recording accurately and speaking to you verbatim when I am awake. It is a practice, it's a simple practice. Because I had enough time, and my whole time I devoted to know all these things. Not that I cannot goof. Don't say that I am a perfect, I don't say that. You see, there is no one perfect. To be perfect is perfectly boring. You see, there is only one that is perfect and it's perfect. You see, divine. Perfect is a word which we do not find, you see, in reality. But when you devote your time to do something, if you are swimming, you find many skills which are not taught by anybody. You see, you can float. You can float in a sitting position. You can float in standing position. You can float in lying position. When you are doing something, that deed of yours, that skill of yours leads you to more skill, attaining another higher skill when you start persisting, doing something. Question is meditation a mere escape? Is meditation therapeutic for you? Is meditation experimental for you? Are you trying to explore something? Or are you doing meditation because Swami Rama told you to do? Very dangerous. That's a dangerous situation. If I am telling you to do meditation, then that is not instruction of meditation. That is called instruction in hypnosis. I am explaining to you the benefits of meditation. If you understand the benefits, you should learn to make experiments, and in the beginning take meditation experimentally and then truthfully judge for yourself, this method is helpful for me or not. We all have done experiments. If we walk to that gate, we will see that gate. Let us do experiment that if we remain very still and become calm, make our mind calm and breath serene, will we find peace? Can that peace be obtained in any other way? When we start doing this sort of experiment, then we do not need any outer, agencies to support my idea or deed. Meditation, we don't have to use any outer agency to make it valid. Learn to do meditation independently. If you are a bad person, good person, happy person, miserable person, even then you should do meditation. No need of becoming miserable. If others make you miserable, then you are weak. If you are miserable, then you are weak. It means weakness creates misery. Learn to have inner strength. External strength is a good support for external life, but internal strength will help you when you need. There is one simple sentence in Ramayana that says, that is generally, indication to a man. Dhiraj, dharma, mitra aur nari, aap takal parikhiyo chari. Courage, your dharma, conviction, friend whom you trust, and your wife whom you love. If you don't have wife, you need girlfriend whom you love. At the time of need, you should test them. Why do you test them? If you don't test them, suppose you are drowning and you are depending that somebody is going to save me, and that doesn't save you. You should not. You should learn to test them at least once or twice. First thing is to be tested, not the woman you love. Dhiraj, your courage. Do you have inner courage? What have you done to create inner courage? You see. If you go on condemning yourself, you will never have inner courage. No matter how much things you have to support you in the external world. Inner courage will come when you will keep yourself happily by isolating. Mothers always say, children, now you go to sleep. Let me be happy for a moment. She loves her children. She cannot live without them. But she cannot live without husband, children, home and everything. But why does she say? Let me be away from everybody. There is a desire to be all alone, to enjoy that bliss which you find all alone, but not with others, where you do not need a group to make you happy. Every individual has that desire. That's why you meditate. You want to reach that point. I told you yesterday Will you make that figure again? Because I didn't complete it. Make the full. I am making these scriptures, they are very terse, tough and abstruse in their nature, but I make them easy because I learned them so much. One scripture I heard from many, many sages, so I found out a way of putting it simple, in a simple way, so that you can understand. Otherwise, it is said, don't teach this Vidya or Upanishad to anybody and everybody. Are you artist? Commercial artist. Okay. You corrected yourself. Now, I told you that the breath you inhale is called prana. But actually breath is not prana, remember this. Breath is breath. You see. It is called vayu in Sanskrit. So we find vayu everywhere. Is it breath? No. Because there should be something, living object, to direct that. I told you just now, inanimate, anything you find in the world is manifestation of prana. Not this prana, but the prana, which is the first unit of life. With the help of that unit, this universe comes into existence. So this vayu, there is a rider on this. This is like ashwa, horse. Horse cannot go to its destination unless there is a rider. That breath we are inhaling, there is a rider in it that is called prana. Otherwise it's only vayu. Vayu is a horse. That which rides that horse is called prana. It's something living. It's not like dead mere air with a compound of oxygens and nitrogen and other gases. No, there is a conscious something that is driving that, leading that, which is called prana. Now, this is outer, we experience every day. Without that prana, we cannot live. Prana means life, and life means prana in the external world. Through food, we receive prana. Through breath, we receive prana. Through pores, we receive prana. There are many agencies through which we receive prana. Okay. Now, this prana is always in touch with its source, the original prana, that is responsible for manifesting all the inanimate things in the world. And all the conscious things, conscious beings are manifested by something that is called Brahman or Atman, you see. Here. Now, we can help ourselves by understanding the relationship of this prana that we inhale. Simple experiment will tell you. You can live without food for many days. And if you practice to become aparna, one who lives only on the air, then you can live for a long time without air. You see. With air, by taking prana, not by taking solid foods. It is not conceived by normal human being, ordinary human being, so I am not going to discuss that. Through food we get prana. The prana that is supplied through food is not enough and complete, so that through breath we receive prana. Breath is a vehicle to supply prana. So there are many vehicles within. Mostly there are two vehicles, inhalation and exhalation, called prana and apana. Now, they are doing their duties. Very strange. Mind is definitely superior than these two vehicles. Sometimes mind gets disgusted and says, you are a bad person, don't do this. You have been doing right, you are not doing well. You spank your children, you become nasty to them, you ridicule them, you don't behave nicely with your wife, your mind will tell you. And that is true. But prana will never deny you, never reject you. No matter who you are, what you are. If you are a criminal, prana will never deny. Worst person you are in the world, even God does not have punishment for you because you have done so much that there is no punishment for you. You have gone beyond the mire of punishments. You see. Yet prana will not leave you. Why? It is our mother. No matter what happens, a real mother will never abandon her child, infant child. She will protect her with all, at any cost, without any discrimination. For her, the child is child. Mind is not our mother. Mind is like a father. What father does, if son wants something to get from father, he will say, how many rupees do you want? How many dollars do you want? 5, 10, 20, 100, 200, 2000. There is always some limitation. But mother never says, I will give you milk so much and so much and so much. There is no end to it. Take as much as you want, no condition. So you have unconditional relationship when you are infant with your mother, who is not crazy. You see, normal mother I am talking of. So prana is like our mother. Father is our mind that discriminates. So mother and father, they live together, they are close relationship, and that is called twin laws of life, breath and mind. To understand mind, you will have to understand your breath. To understand your breath, you will have to understand your mind. Now, let us make few experiments. You have not beaten me physically. But if you give me some bad news, which affects my mind, I will start crying, and you will see tears flowing from my eyes. And I can have nervous fit, and I can I can faint. I can become unconscious. Even it can affect my heart. It can affect my heart, and I can have heart failure. You see. How does it happen? During that time, what happens to our breath? The whole process, if you study, you will understand how unique, how wonderful, how useful it is for you to understand something about breath as you become very fussy, which is very good for as far as diet is concerned. You should know something. No matter what wonderful food you eat. Pranas have play their own part. So the breath, during that time when you cry, your breath is not serene. No, it becomes very shallow. Shallowness of breath means close to death. Here there is no question of death, close to distortion, imbalanced mind. Whenever you are imbalanced, when you are agitated from inside, whenever you are emotional, whenever you are irresponsible, you will find your breath has become shallow. Not fine, shallow. Fine breath is made consciously, shallow breath is made by your bad habits. Then you do not fill up the depth of your lungs. Breath becomes very shallow. And during that time, mind doesn't know what to do, mind becomes weak. Because you are not supplying right energy, proper energy, the volume of blood from your heart to your brain. Pumping station is heart, not here. You see. You will find the same condition. If somebody hits you or gives you karate, you see, there is a blood supply, loss of blood supply. And during that time, brain does not function well. You are very powerful and strong, but a weak person has done it, who is not so strong like you. But he is clever. He has got balance. There, by having that supply, loss of supply, your brain doesn't function. Instead of seeing this side, you look at this side. You see. You cannot use your physical strength the way you want because of that discoordination. Breath becomes shallow. Mind can make your breath shallow. Mind is a catalogue of habit patterns. Habit patterns are created in the mind because of our repeated actions, repeated speech, repeated thoughts, repeated foods, repeated all our habit patterns in daily life. You see. So I heard a news that impulse directly affected my mind, and my mind immediately from inside started crying and I started flowing tears. Mind can destroy the body, make body healthy, make body miserable. On this principle, that whole of the body is in the mind, but whole of the mind is not in the body. This is a principle. To know whole of the mind, you will have to understand more about mind to know the whole of the body. If you understand through mind, you can understand better. This is a way of understanding body through mind. Not mind through body, but through mind you are trying to understand your body. So breath. If you don't allow your breath to be shallow, whenever such a chance comes, you will not cry, you will not sob, you will not become sad, you will not be sorrow. For being sad and sorrow, your breath has to be shallow. That's why it is said, don't have shallow breath. By learning not to have shallow breath, not to have jerky breath, not to create a great pause between the two breaths, inhalation and exhalation, is a key point, because that pause is death. Suppose I inhale and never exhale, I am dead. I inhale and never exhale, I am dead. All these kriyas, all these applications, all these exercises are done to control that pause. If you are able to control the pause between inhalation and exhalation, you are a great yogi. Advanced yogi is he who knows how to control the pause between inhalation and exhalation. Pause means death. So constantly death is haunting the gate of life, but you can keep death away, you can stop her knocking your door of life if you do not allow, you see, that pause to be increased or expanded unconsciously. This is my point. How do you regulate your breath? The best way to regulate your breath. Sometimes you can measure your breath, but this will happen only when you have knowledge of tattva. Your body is compound of many elements. Sometimes earth element becomes predominant. That will definitely affect your breath. How? Take a piece of mirror and just do it. It might create a moon shape for you. Another time, you do after half an hour or 2 hours. You will find that shape has changed because tattva is different. Predominance of tattva. We don't have any such machines in the mountains to experiment, but we have the right experiments. You will find your vapor coming out of your mouth is making many shapes. Why? Because the influence of tattva. So someday you find your body aching because it's the influence of Vayu tattva. Someday you find warmth, it is influence of fire tattva. So don't say that your kundalini is awakened. We never encourage the student. Any student who says his kundalini is awakened, I'll put bandage on his eyes and put my hands outside that and give him a book to read. Come on, read it. If he can read, yes, it is awakened. If he cannot, it is not awakened. All these mere symptoms can mislead you. Sometimes you like to know that you already know, though you do not know. You want to satisfy a part of yours that you know. You know more than anybody else, though you do not know and they know better than you. But you like to feel that. That part of you should not be encouraged. See. Now, how to regulate that breath? Whenever any such shocking thing comes, attain your breath. One day, you know what happened? We were at Dr. Ballantyne's place. So there was a rake. So my mom, Mrs. Kevin Hoffman, put her foot on that and she fell down. And she fell down and lay down like dead. So I rushed and I said, Kevin, go. She said, no. I said, why did you not go? She said, she's relaxing. I said, she's hurt and you said she's relaxing? I said, I know her, you know. So I asked her, I said, what did you do? See, I was hurt, so I composed myself, I was breathing well. Now, I'm not praising them. This resulted, their tendency resulted one thing. Once their child, a small kid, he has one son and one daughter, by chance inserted his finger somewhere and between the door and the nail pierced from this side came to this side. Anybody who saw was shocked, but he was not. He was strong enough. Everybody went running. Somebody cut the nail, somebody could. It took some time for that nail to come out. That was the result of the parents' inner strength. How do you make your children strong? You have to be strong if you want your children to be strong. That's my point. You see. Strength comes from inside. And that strength comes from balance. The more you learn how to have balance in your life, the more you will be strong. You see. So to watch which element is becoming predominant, that's only a yogi can do. But at least you can watch your mind and breath. If your breath is calm, definitely you are helping your mind and it becomes easy for mind. What is the most balanced period in your life where you can establish balance in your mind, in your breath, in your body? To balance in your 5 tattvas, 5 elements, you are not allowing, you don't want to allow any tattva, any element to be predominant, and you don't want any jerk in your breath, you don't want anything in your mind. For that, what do you have to do? You have to learn only one thing. Do you have to learn how to establish harmony in the disturbance of your, tattvas or the breath? I think breath. Breath is barometer of your mind and body both. It's the bridge between the two shores, body and mind. And it's not something dead, it's something living, because there is someone to direct that. The day that someone withdraws itself, there is breath, but there is no life. So life is not mere breath, life is prana, and prana is life. For that I told you yesterday, in Savasana, lying position, it should not be very warm, the room should not be very warm, never very cold, according to your nature. The floor should not be very hard, should not be very dwindling. Suppose you want to practice it on water bed, don't do it. The floor which is hard, but you have put the mattress there. Using a pillow gently will be helpful. Pillow should be soft, bed should be hard. Learn this. Many of you complain aching body. Come to Dr. Ballantyne and others. If you come to me, first I will ask, what type of bed do you use? What type of pillow do you use? If you insert a pillow, just twist the pillow or put it here in the morning, you will find some pain here. And doctor says, go and wear the collar. Many a times, you change side to another side and put hard pillow here, and that disturbs you. Many times that disturbs you see. And then you are taking medicine, but the condition is the same. You are not changing the condition. In such a case, you lie down. First, use your diaphragmatic breath, which is a useful thing to do. Then, I told you, let your mind follow the breath. Easiest way, best way, and highest way of concentrating mind is to lead mind with the flow of the breath. Mind is very close to breath, but mind is not sincere to the breath. Husband is not sincere to the wife. Runs here and there. You see. Breath is Mind is like man, breath is like mother. They have different nature. Mother immediately tries to control the father in her own way. So if you approach through mother, you can usually have access to the father. But if you approach father, perhaps you will have denial. Through breath, you should learn to approach your mind. For mind and breath are twin laws of life. Very helpful process. Few seconds, few minutes you are doing diaphragmatic breathing, which is very helpful. That should become your habit. How? Abdomen pushes in the healthiest muscle in your body, which is called diaphragm. With the help of that, you can even lift grand piano. How heavy it is. It's so strong. The strongest muscle in our body is diaphragm. We lose its capacity, flexibility, if we do not use diaphragmatic movement by using abdominal muscles. Push in your abdomen and you should exhale. Let it come out gently and you inhale. Don't push yourself when you are releasing your muscle. Only use your effort when you are withdrawing, pushing in. If you are not doing this, you are not inhaling enough according to your capacity, as much you should. You can eliminate any situation of your mind by doing breathing. Anything, any sorrow, any sadness. Whenever you are sad, sorrow or anything, just breathe deeply and you are free. Whenever you are going through any emotional problem, just deep breathly and you are free. Because you are accumulating toxins inside, you see. And those toxins are injurious for your whole being, and that is why you are miserable. You better do not allow those toxins to be built in your body. You build it through food, you build through breath, you build through thinking. So you are doing this. After this, you do. Follow your breath. This is your brain. Now, medical science says that you have at least more than 10 billion cells. But those cells are constantly dying. And there is no rejuvenation in the cells, according to medical science. But definitely Yogi says, of course, we never say that all the dead can come back like Christ. You see, we don't say that. But we have a method of not allowing to kill the cells, not allowing these cells to die. How will it help you? If there is a nature, if out of 10 billion cells, few cells die every day, who cares? Well, in old age you become either insane, or you lose your memory, or you lose your coordination. These are three factors, they say. You lose your memory, you become insane, you lose your coordination, physical coordination. Three deficiencies you will find if you do not understand this thing. Brain is the seat of mind, which is energy. Brain is a physical part. If you constantly blow my seat, I will be disturbed all the time. Don't constantly blast your brain. You are blasting your brain because you are not breathing well. You are blasting your brain through very bad food. You are blasting your brain by feedback to your brain. You are good for nothing, you are bad, you are this, you are this, you are this. As you talk to your husband, you are talking to yourself. You can talk to your husband. You can talk to yourself, the same thing. You can talk to anybody, the same thing. See, if you are telling something to somebody, it means you are telling to yourself. You can say the same thing to yourself. It's a projection of your mind. So don't do that. Stop blasting. How? Mind will do it. So you have to keep your mind busy all the time. So mind doesn't do that. Whenever you have time for the mind to do something, give him the work. When mind is free, don't allow it to be free. It becomes workshop of devil. That is why you have to remember the center of consciousness within. Those who are Jewish, they can remember some sort of confirmation which they use, prayer, compact prayer. Those who are Christian, they can use some saying of Christ. Those who are Hindus, they can use some mantra. You see. Otherwise, you can use the method of applied by the Upanishads, that your stage is fourth, you are the citizen of the fourth, and these are 3 countries where you have passport to travel freely. Waking, dreaming and sleeping are 3 countries where you can freely move. But where is your country? Where is your real country? The real country is Turiya, where you are. You live permanently, abode. With this help, you can slowly reduce wandering in this country and in that country and in that country, but trying to live more in your own native place. That is called Turiya, the state beyond waking, dreaming and sleeping. So the method is, you see, I told you yesterday, in the beginning you can do it. Ratio will be 4:8. 4 inhalation and 8 exhalation. This method is used in the mills, in the polluted places, cloth mill, you see, where you find cotton particles getting into your lungs, and in the mines. When you come out of that, you have such a profession where you are afraid that your lungs are being polluted by this. You come out and do it regularly 2-3 times a day, 5 minutes at a time. Inhale 2 and exhale 4. When you inhale, it goes to your storehouse lungs, and exhale. Then you are forcing yourself to exhale. From lungs it is distributed to your muscles, and then same is converted into carbon dioxide, comes back to your lungs, and then you exhale. You are forcing your whole system, muscles and carbon dioxide, to come out more than you are inhaling. This capacity increases. This is a very helpful thing for you. Now, for some time, do this. What is this? Length. Mentally, your mind is flowing with the breath. If anything intervenes, you understand what is intervening. Something very important, something very ugly, bad habit of yours, or something important which you have forgotten to do. So choose a time of meditation where such interventions are avoided. After 10 days, 15 days, 1 month, you can decrease the span to this point. And then do it. If you do it for 15, 20 days, you will find elevated, you will find your personality has changed, your thinking has changed, your memory has sharpened. I am not making mere statements. This is a fact. But what happens with you people? If you are disappointed from me, I don't care. I am also disappointed with you. You see, why am I disappointed? Every year you come for seminar and I give you something to do and you never do it. I never received that I have done so much, I felt like this. Never such a letter. How great Swami is, I always find that hypocrisy, you know. I don't like that. That doesn't help me. I have been doing this, I find this problem. If you do it and then find problem, I will know that you are speaking truth. If you are bluffing me, I will know. What problem will you find? You see, you will find the problem of shallow breath, all the bad things coming out of shallow breath, all the diseases connected with shallow breath. Then you will find diseases coming from jerky breath, you will find diseases coming from noisy breath, you will find diseases coming from pause. And I will tell you, even you are far away, I will tell you where are you committing mistakes. It's very therapeutic. You can at least treat your patients without seeing them, without knowing them. There is a book that is called Duti Vijnanam. It's a Sanskrit book. Duti means messenger. It has been used word pulse. Vijnanam means knowledge. With the help of pulse, they will tell you all the diseases you have. And allopaths say, how it is possible we don't have any such a skill? You see, they have not developed that skill. So what can I do? You see, it can be done without seeing a patient, without knowing where, far away, on telephone, even without telephone, if there is true connection. But when mind starts flowing freely without any interruptions, few days interruptions will come. When these interruptions will start decreasing, finally you will find the mind is flowing freely with the breath, breath is flowing with the mind, and that is a great joy. During that time, either Sushumna is applied. Sushumna means Sukh Mana, peaceful mind, joyous mind. Shreen, breath and calm mind. That state which is given by Shreen, breath and calm mind is called Sushumna, where both nostrils start flowing freely. One nostril is not predominant, another is not. See, both start flowing freely. You see. And when they both start freely, you cannot cry, you cannot have pain, you cannot have sadness. Because that state of breath leads your mind to a state of joy, joyous mind. Now, slowly as you have learned to increase, expand, go on expanding. Don't visualize any wall in front of you. Keep your window open, visualize as though you are going towards a space. You will have many, many, many wonderful experiences. You see. Don't push yourself. Go according to your capacity. Otherwise, you will feel something as though someone is squeezing you, you know. Gradually increase it. I was told, and I did this experiment with other my friends, and they were like me. We had 3 months course in which we attained what the teacher in the morning did to us. That in 3 months' time, I am giving you this, and I am going to examine whether you do it or not. What I always used to say, I always used to tease my teachers in a different way. If something happened, I'll say it didn't happen. I wanted to know whether he was sure or not. He said, you are lying. I said, no. He said, then you are not fit of this place. Then I'd say, no, you are right. You see, I wanted to be very confirmed, I wanted to do this. From the very beginning I had that bad habit, you know. They were kind enough to tolerate, to accept this foolishness of mine. But then I reap the same fruits. My students do the same thing to me. You see. Now what you have to do, you have to reverse this position. Yesterday I told you only one thing, but you have to reverse it. Slowly you will have to learn to come back gradually with the same ratio, and when you are inhaling here and here, there, after 3 minutes, brain starts degenerating. Up to 3 minutes there is called suspension, because there is reserve within us, reserve of prana. And you have eaten food, you can live for 2-3 days because there is reserve in us. After 2.5 minutes, between 2.5 minutes and 3 minutes, the brain starts degenerating, and that's called death. So, this thing happens. But this is voluntarily you have brought it back to this point. During that time, your inhalation and exhalation is very fine and you are conscious. You float in great joy. It's possible. You might elevate your body. It's possible. Yes. Provided you have done perfect. It may take 3 to 6 months to attain this, but joy you will attain the very first day when you start practicing. Now, the teachers ask you to concentrate on this point with breathing exercises, Ajna Chakra, to increase your memory and intellect. For this is the gateway to the city of life. The teachers will give you meditation, concentration on this path at throat chakra if you are artist, dancer, musician or a writer. If you are very emotional, the teacher will give you this. You see. This triangle, one triangle indicates ascending power means human effort, another descending power means grace. Where grace and human effort meet, that is called Star of David, or that is called Anhat Chakra. Here you concentrate. Those who are emotional, with the help of that emotional power, which is a great power, one attains the higher state of ecstasy. Those who are sick, the teacher will tell you to meditate on this, which is called Manipur Chakra. Why? Because from Manipur Chakra starts one which is called Kanda. The network of wires in the body. It's the solar system. Biggest network is there. It's not only because it's a fireplace or Manipur Chakra, no. It's because this is the biggest network in your human body called Kanda, which is associated, which is close to your Manipur Chakra. Teachers do not allow you to meditate on the Swadhisthana Chakra, otherwise whole day you will be thinking of sex. Or in a particular disease, they give this, those who feel rigid, those who have lost that sexual appetite, those who have become impotent, those who have become, you see, to revive those feelings, they will tell you to do that. But breathing is very important. Now, I'll give you more tomorrow. God bless you.